All right, and okay, and all right, okay, ladies and gentlemen, how we all doing today? Welcome in to Tuesday the 17th, 2 days into Hispanic Heritage Month, as they call it. Our Latin brothers and sisters, another way that it's said is the brown seed. Thank y'all for being here on the planet with us, right? Lizzo made a song called Special, right? A very powerful song by the sister who is in the process of losing weight, as you've seen. For those who do pay attention, for those who don't, we got some folks in the family on the podcast who pay attention to. I like doing these opens where I start just kind of going in, kind of snaps the mind, gets people into. See, again, we got to pay attention. We're bad on paying attention. Ladies and gentlemen, we all are. Again, this is never a shot at anybody. We all have issues, right? When I talk on family, when we talk on finances, right, go through the same thing as anybody else. We don't, but because we all go through it, don't mean you don't talk about it. Those two, that 1 and 1 don't equal 2, man. Okay, that's not right. Y'all welcome in us, the 700 plus strong, right? Who believe in, have witnessed, and continue to strive toward that which is a renewed mindset called a different view. Y'all welcome in, family. Thank you for walking this road with me again. We're going to shout out Spotify for podcasters, for helping and put on a platform where not only me but other folks can speak on things. Spotify for podcasters is a big old wild world of many different podcasts, again, where people can speak some truth to things, bring light to things, and all that kind of stuff, right? So y'all welcome in. Today we're gonna do a few different things. We're gonna talk about Hispanic heritage, because again, Latin heritage, right? The brown seed, right? Tan skinned folks. Again, when you talk on Mexico, which is what we're gonna do, that part of Hispanic culture. Okay, again, another place taken over by both Spain and when you go back into the 1800s, which is where we're gonna talk about, some wild stuff, y'all. Again, I want to put this on the table because we're going to deal with Beetlejuice. We're going to deal with a spoiler version of Beetlejuice, because there's some things that we got to talk about that are relationship wise that are in this movie. So again, we did a spoiler free, and now we're going to do a spoiler one, right? And Lord willing, hopefully we get to one other topic. If we don't, then so be it. So, starting off with Hispanic heritage, number one, Mexico, right? Texas specifically, since it's the heartbeat of the Republic area, right? See, again, ladies and gentlemen, we got to talk about both your government. You got to talk about both. It's not good enough to diss Democratic. And while we're on this subject, again, I gotta say this. Ladies and gentlemen, the idea in trying to shoot and kill a president don't help. It didn't help with Abraham Lincoln. It didn't help with John F. Kennedy. I know people wanted to shoot Barack Obama, right? It doesn't help trying to take out Donald Trump, y'all. This is not the way. I want the listeners of this podcast, right, the family and friends thereof who have suggested, and again, get the word out, y'all, right? Again, like we have made mention in earlier episodes here last year, the plane done took off the runway. We are flying in high altitude now, right? This is a thing where we have got to speak the truth on things, right? And trying to kill this man, whether he on a golf course, at a presidential rally, I should say. It don't matter. In his home, it don't matter. Killing him won't help. Okay? You've got millions of folks who think like this. And that's going to lead into this other thing, which is, I want to say the Battle of Liberty Place, I believe is what it is, in Louisiana. So back in the 1800s, right around the Reconstruction era, okay, before we hop back into Mexico, y'all walk with me for a minute, family, right? You had a group of folks called the White League. Now, this was around the same time that you've had other groups who just don't want the Negro, right? Just to be blunt, to be the Negro, they got to go, okay? And as a result, they had a whole, and so what you saw January 6th, according to history, that was real light. They stormed. Now again, that was the Capitol building. So we're just gonna take it. It wasn't the Capitol building. This was a state. So for instance, in your mind, take what happened in Michigan during COVID, where everybody in the town got strapped. This is what you could use your guns for. You can't use them to protect your home. You're going to use them to make sure the government gets you out and to get you out back on the master's plantation. But I digress, okay? To each their own, right? So now this White League, I think it's called the White Man's League, okay? It's something you can study online. Unfortunately, this is something that I just found out today. You know, you talk about history, y'all. Again, these things need to be taught to the kids, especially the teenagers, man. They need to know, y'all. They need to know how horrible their great, because let's see, the 1800s, how far would that go back? Was it 3 greats, maybe? Or 2 greats? They need to know how badly our ancestors and their friends treated people here on these lands. They did not like the fact of how the war went down. They didn't like it, y'all. So they started a whole ass battle in Louisiana. Some 5,000 folks. I think they killed police officers. We don't talk about the black and the blue, right? You see them flags all over the place, right? And again, there's something to our police department. We have gone over this conversation on this podcast a million times, and we'll continue because repetition is necessary for learning. This is not to say that you don't need protection. Same thing with our military. We shout out our military in this podcast because it's a real thing. Every nation needs a group of folks to defend it, to defend those lands. It's clearly from history, you know you need that, right? But at the end of the day, you just don't need anybody treating anybody any old kind of way. That ain't going to work, y'all, right? This will not work, ladies and gentlemen, okay? High integrity in every place of power. You see this in this TV show, The Rings of Power. With Lord of the Rings, folks are okay just skating by for what? For trinkets? It's not going to work. So these men, they came through killing police, killing everybody, all the Negro lovers, right? This is to our European brothers and sisters. You know, the ones that call white. I know white is becoming an ambiguous term because you got like non-white. They kind of put the Latin person in there because see, the lighter you are, the more they can be like, okay, yeah, you're white. No, that's again more technology at work. Yet, at the end of the day, here they're just killing folk at whim because they don't like how it went down. No, that's not how it works, y'all. All people have a seat at the table, and let's be clear and honest here to my Christian brothers and sisters, right? Who preach and tout so much about the Bible said, right? No, guys and gals, this ain't it. The women ain't your birth mules. The kids ain't supposed to sit there with the cute little bow tie and dress on and don't make no noise. No. It's not how God made things. And it ain't how it is today. Y'all got to be careful. There's dangers on all sides, on both sides, man. I mean, this is the thing, and we control the narrative. It's not the other way around, right? So, that's the thing. I want to say that it's called the Battle of I believe it is the Battle of Liberty Place, if I'm not mistaken. I'll get the right thing on that to make sure I'm leading y'all correctly in what I'm saying. Also, speaking on that, just a correction on Mr. Lyndon B. Johnson. I mentioned the 50s. Now, of course, he was a senator back then, but he was president in the 60s. Again, like we mentioned, make sure you talk to your folks in the 60s and the 70s, man. That was the last time on these lands before right now that a lot of this mess came up, man. You had a lot of riots, a lot of culturally based riots, okay? I don't use the word race because against race is a competition. So when you say racist, you're talking about people operating in a competition. And for the most part, you're talking about hate. See, that you get more plain with your English with folks, y'all, because a lot of these words have been used and misused, right? So a lot of cultural riots were going on back in the 60s, especially the late 60s. And in the 1800s, clearly you have these fights that break out all over the place because people don't want to see the dark-skinned folks with nothing. The idea when Europe came here was to make sure nobody had nothing. And part of the Europe, when I speak on this, is Spain and Portugal, which had a lot to do with the attack on our Latin brothers and sisters. Yeah, England had something to do with it. Yeah, the French had a little something to do with it. But again, this is more an attack on our Latin brothers and sisters from Spain and Portugal, right? Mexico was big back in the day, y'all. Mexico consisted of, let's see if I can remember this, California and Texas. I want to say, of course, New Mexico, which is funny they call it New Mexico, right? Anyway, Mexico, Colorado, Arizona, I want to say Nevada a little bit. So that whole corner of the nation, right, the West, as we call it, was actually very Latin in nature, right? And as we do, most folks got pushed down to Central America, aka Mexico. And that's what you got today. It's something you can look up online as far as the annexation of Texas. That's where you start to get a little bit of that. You go back into the Mexican Revolution, you'll start to see a little bit more of that, all that kind of thing, right? A lot of fighting, people fighting for things that they shouldn't have to, but you better be ready. This is not to support violence, y'all. See, again, we keep using these excuses. We're talking about history, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about what happens when people stop wanting to share. So you better be prepared for that. That's all. This isn't a doom and gloom thing. This is a reality. Again, as we have said on this podcast, the spillover of the garbage in Europe spilled over to these lands here in North Central, South America, and the islands. That's just what it is. That's on top of the infighting that was happening in the tribes that everybody likes to use as an excuse for why it was okay for Europe to come over here and do it. Hey, John, I see you beating your wife over there. Can I join in? What are we doing, yo? What are we doing? That don't make sense, right? But yet somehow legally we tried to make it make sense with all of this around us and taking land from folks. That's crazy. Not giving proper due, man, on your job. Hey, they set the precedent for you not getting proper credit on your job, ladies and gentlemen. And in the home. See, again, the sin of Adam spread over. I know people don't believe in it. It spread over into today, which is why the genders keep fighting back and forth over stuff. It's like a battle royale. You know, I'm a wrestling fan. It's like the Royal Rumble in the house, man. Who's contestant 30, okay? It's relationship number 5. Listen, we all go through this, guys and gals. This ain't the time to do the KJ, man. We ain't making fun of me. When you making fun of me, man? You don't understand. That person was real mean. Folks, we're not saying who isn't and who don't hurt folks, okay? And again, this is why I call it, I'm not saying that people aren't really hurt, but this is what I like to call that pseudo offense, where you hang on to the offense as a defense to not walk away from the pain, to not get yourself proper help. This falls in line with things that happen in all different types of stuff, especially mentally. You know, we again, you got to get honest on a thing. Let it go. Let it go. Because we can see how it pours over. So yeah, there was that whole battle there with our dear Mexican brothers and sisters, just to point toward what they've had to deal with. And then you turn around all these years later, and now all they're good for is a lawn cutting and a bathroom cleaning. That's what it is now. You know, but it's no different than, again, dark-skinned folk. We're just saying what it is, man. And again, this is why I take the time. I know for our black brothers and sisters, like, brother, why are you talking about white women like that, man? Like, no. I'm sorry, y'all. They're now. Oh well, you know, let them get what they deserve. Everything they did to us. See, again, for us to rule and reign down here as a people, to live together as people, we can't continue to hold on to that hate, y'all. And that's what it is. That's what it is. Now, you want to judge a person off of what they're doing to you? You damn right you better. But at the end of the day, doing this kind of thing where it's like they're all evil, no, everybody's supposed to have a chance to prove themselves. Now, if you come across where you are still continuing this hateful rhetoric, it's hard to say rhetoric, hateful speech, let's just say it that way, right? Then that's a whole other topic. And this ain't to say that everything that everybody talks about, something with the races or the cultures, is hateful speech, because that's not the case. We ain't sitting there dogging out people and saying how evil and no good they are because of which culture they come from. That's hateful speech. No, but talking about a people group and the horrible garbage they have done to each other as other people groups on this planet, that ain't hateful. That's history. And the fact that it continues to repeat. We just talking about things in light of history. That's not hateful. We've seen that a lot here with this whole thing with Donald Trump being shot at, which is unfortunate. But guys and gals, just because somebody, I'll say it again, because somebody is talking about somebody's husband or wife like trash, do that then mean, see, we done missed the heart of a thing, y'all. Do that then mean you go over there and you start, let's go take a couple BB shots at this guy, and throw some tomatoes at him? Because these are all different things that have happened through history, right? You don't like something, you start throwing tomatoes at people. You can blame that on the literature era back in the day in England, or in Europe, for that. Throwing tomatoes at people. What are we doing? And this pours over into your sports arena. You boo, not how we boo, but I mean it gets almost disrespectful in how we do. No, y'all. Yeah, you paid a ticket, but guess what? You paying the ticket into the man's company. So guess what? If you really, really, really bout it, and you really are tired of watching stuff, instead of I had to put that post up online. Instead of throwing your TV down, crushing it with your car and all this stupid kiddish tantrum stuff. See, again, how as an adult you going to talk about kids when you doing the thing worse than the kids? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. We play into the madness a little too much. We really do. And it's time we all stand up and say something. What are we doing? Right? So there's just, again, just some things there that we we all get involved in. And honestly, it's a waste of our time at this point. You know, like how the NFL, NBA, NHL, or MLB is doing things, then stop watching, yo. Right? Now, that is the thing, because people ain't gonna do that. But still, don't give them your dollar. Viewership is giving them your dollar, yo. Same thing with the voting thing. You know the thing is messed up on both sides, y'all, so why we vote for them? Again, they ain't putting no money in your pocket. Just because this dude is now talking about, we're going to take taxes off overtime. You could have been took the taxes off overtime now, 2024 now. Wait, so did you get enough money to be able to do it now? And I know people make excuses for folks. Oh, KJ, come on, man. We already know, right? Again, they got to get you to buy into the game somehow. So for those who keep making the excuses and stuff, go on with it because you're doing good for massa. Right? So that's just that on those two things, man. You be careful. Be careful out here. And when you look at the story of that whole battle in Louisiana, Democrats and Republicans are both working at the same thing on that battle, by the way. This is another account that you can just read right online. Right? So before we think one is better, again, government is government, y'all. don't be deceived, right? So on to Beetlejuice. A couple of things that was very, very, very telling for me. Again, we mentioned that Book of the Deceased. That was they just called that back from the last movie. And again, we got books on how to live down here, and we not following very well. But and hopefully y'all like the music that I put in. Again, I'm doing my own producing, and I'm learning as I go along. If y'all have ideas and stuff like that, the accomplished podcaster out there, again, we're in year 2 now. So again, as we go along here, this thing will get better and better and sound clearer and crisper and all that kind of thing. But again, as y'all have suggestions, where to get music, where to get all those types of things, just let your boy know. Let your boy know. Shout me out. I'm online everywhere. So, and again, we can help and elevate this thing to continue on, right? So yeah, in the Beetlejuice, just There's so many people trying to marry somebody in these things, y'all. Y'all watch out for the people around you, man. You got the one dude trying to hit up older, I should say, Lydia Dietz. I try not to do that old thing because, again, we malalign our elderly a little too much, right? And we're all getting older. So this idea, are you old? No, you're just older than you were 5 years ago, right? I had that taught to me one time, and it really was impactful for me. That's as a young man, that's a real thing, right? Because again, age is a number for real. But anyway, yeah. So Lydia, but just being used, not stepping in her power, not stepping in her purpose, and she just getting used by this dude, man. And again, it normally happens when you deny the truth of something. She knew what she went through in that first movie and saw Beetlejuice and how she helped her family and all that kind of thing. And the trauma that happens when you're on the battlefield like that, it formulates in something in you, ladies and gentlemen, that family, that changes you a little bit. And you can get shook. This is where shell shock comes from. Shout out to our military, man. Right? They got to go through these horrors of war, seeing people. Again, I don't want to get into too much because it is graphic. But you said we have all seen these different things online, man. War is confusion. War is confusion, y'all. Right? And you get to see some stuff that you really should not be seeing. We really got to show true mental health care to our veterans, y'all, and to our elderly. They have gone through some stuff, man. You know, like in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the government sitting there saying no to these survivors, giving them anything for their homes and stuff that were destroyed from right underneath them. Again, another one of these riots, right? They just came up in mass, y'all. See, we don't even know what that looked like. You saw a little taste of it in 2020. You don't know what it's like to have a whole riot of folks just come in, bust down your stuff. We don't know what that's like. And heaven forbid we ever go back there, because it makes no sense, right? Shout out to Jenna Ortega. If I'm saying your name wrong, my apologies, right? She did a thing in this movie, you know, as the daughter now of Lydia Dietz, having to deal with the stuff and denying the truth therein and all that kind of thing. Lord knows we all know folks. KJ, that's a hoax. That ain't real. No, this ain't. Yeah, okay. Until you get face to face with it and it's got your life in the balance, and then all of a sudden you can believe, man. Right? And this is the stuff, unfortunately, we make fun of with doubting Thomas. But again, you want to be, this is where I come to defense of folks like that, because you want to be sure. Okay, we'll give you the proof. Live long enough. You live long enough, you'll see the proof, right? That's a very real thing. So, you know, that was cool. Again, she meets a boy that trying to do her wrong. Don't realize it because it comes off, oh, you know, we understand your parents don't like you and this, that, and the other. This is why parents, we need to get it together, man. We fatten up. You know how you fatten up a turkey and then you kill it, then you eat it, right? This is the same thing. While we don't have a problem killing the bird, never mind. I ain't gonna go there. Family, we got to stop making fun of other cultures, okay? Because you don't do a thing over here, or in ritual or whatever, don't mean that another place in the world don't do it. Now, you don't like the fact that it's done over here. We get that part of it, but we got to be careful, y'all. So there was that part of it where the daughter finally finds out that people ain't for them. It was a little too late, but thankfully there was a level of salvation. For some people, they don't see that salvation. We see them strung out on drugs. We see them strung out on many things, right? Again, this is where the compassion in the heart thing has to come in, y'all, right? Because that could be us. Homelessness, all this kind of stuff we keep making fun of, y'all, that could be us. I know it's okay when you're driving in the Bentley and the Porsche and the Lambo, right? And the Bentley, okay? And the Rolls Royce and all the different cars we got, right? The nice, cute Lexus and the Nissan, you know, tricked out Altimas and all these. It's nice when we rolling around like that. You're in your nice house, and the guys and gals, there's places on the planet don't go through. We again, the heart of the thing is missing, right? The love of the great body of people waxing cold. That's real. So yeah, the thing with Beetlejuice's wife, it was an add-on. It was cool. It kind of moved the story along. It is what it is. Again, it brings out the idea you better do your spouse right. You better do your spouse right, man. That thing can go sideways real quick. Hey, and this is for both genders. Let's not be doing, again, let's not repeat Adam's mistake. Right? We just say what it is. And that goes on both sides. Just, let's not do the, you man bashing. No, everybody. All have sinned means all have sinned. Okay. So there was that part of it. So I mean, the movie was cool. Go see it. Again, you get to see Catherine O'Hara. If y'all haven't seen, now we're not saying one word. We're saying something different here before everybody starts to lose it. Oh, KJ using the TV show Schitt's Creek, spelled SCHITT''S before folks go nuts, right? Okay, of course, playing on a different word. Yet, that TV show is very good about family dynamics, so on and so forth. Matter of fact, Eugene Levy, that we know from the American Pie movie series, his son, Daniel Levy, was in the movie. Good actor, right? The whole group is very good in that TV show, okay? I do suggest people go see it. It's a very good TV show, okay? If you haven't already, of course. So again, it's good to see the evolution. I felt with Catherine O'Hara, who was the mother in that, when they play Harry Belafonte's Banana Boat song, she's the one at the end of the table with the red hair and all that kind of thing. So they bring her back. Everything was good in this movie, right? So, yeah, go see the movie. Good stuff. So yeah, that's just to end that thought. And that is where we're going to bring it to a close, ladies and gentlemen. Again, again, we're talking about admonishment. When you love somebody, right? Admonishment is one of those things that you do. When you care about people, admonishment is one of those things you do. You warn, right? You got to let people, as you see it. Again, this is why we say the opinion of the content creator. Again, this is a different view from my point of view, right? From what I'm seeing, bringing it to the family. Y'all take it or leave it, okay? This is not bashing folks and all that kind of thing. Don't let it be that easy for that defense to come up in your mind and rob you from information that you could possibly learn, right? So, that's what I got for y'all today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for walking this road with me. It's been fun talking to y'all. We will talk to y'all again. And until next time, as always, look to find the beauty in a different view.